recognizing that our 3/10 rule, a player may not catch an attempt to try with 3/10 of a second or less. Greetings again, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Basketball Rules Expert, the show where we take National Federation of High School rules, lift them off the printed page, breathe life, simplify, clarify, amplify, so that we can take them with us onto the basketball court. Greetings again, everybody. My name is Greg Austin with abetterofficial.com. I've been a high school basketball official here in the San Francisco Bay Area for over a decade, and I consider myself to be very knowledgeable about the rules of high school basketball. This show is all about helping you on a journey to becoming a basketball rules expert as well. If you haven't already, now would be a great time. Like, subscribe, notify, and share the Basketball Rules Expert show with other basketball officials who could find value as well. But I'm actually going to do this and say hit like, subscribe, notify, so you don't miss out on any of our new content, including live streams every Wednesday and Friday, 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Eastern. Before we get started, I have to give a shout out to our fantastic show supporters. I mean it. Jim Caine, Les O'Connor Jr., Dan Kelly, Jack Davis, and Scott Calvin. Much appreciated and much love. You want to support the show? There's always an opportunity to go to abetterofficial.com/coffee. There will be a link in the description below. All right, today we're looking at end of period scenarios, end of game scenarios. Oftentimes, all the stakeholders in the game can be wildly confused about what's supposed to happen, what's going to happen next. We want to be sharp, we want to be aware as basketball officials by understanding the rules and restrictions and being able to adjudicate plays properly. So our number one goal is to get plays right. So let's take a look at our very first play scenario. Prior to the game, the visiting team properly uses the east goal and the home team the west goal. The officials, by mistake, allow the jumpers to face the wrong direction. Several baskets are scored before it is recognized that the teams are going in the wrong direction. The officials rule that all scoring and activity shall count. They correct the direction and let the game proceed. I got you. So, were the officials correct? Yes or no? So we have a play scenario where the teams have warmed up properly, the game starts. At some point, the officials realize, hey, wait a minute. Oftentimes it'll be a voice from the crowd. They're going the wrong way, right? But baskets have been scored. Let's say fouls have been called. The game has proceeded. What do? We got teams going at the wrong baskets. Simple fix, very straightforward, easy peasy, right? We're going to correct. We're going to stop play, get everybody settled, reoriented. Red, that's your basket. White, that's your basket. Resume from the point of interruption. It'll usually be a dead ball scenario. And go from there. All points count. All fouls count. All time consumed count. The game has been played properly. We just had players going at the wrong basket. Now we could have this same scenario in an overtime scenario, right? For whatever reason, the teams thought, after when they went to overtime, they switched baskets. The officials allowed it. Game continues. Points are scored. Fouls are ruled, etc. Everything counts. Okay? We're just going to, when we are aware, we are going to correct, get teams going in the correct direction, and move forward with the game. Embarrassing, slightly, but we can work through it really quickly. it also reflects the fact that players, they just want to play. They just want to go, right? They're not impeded by any sense of that's their basket, our basket, etc. And sometimes we can have situations where the players get confused and all of a sudden in the game, they start playing in the wrong direction. It can happen. It's incredible. But the players are just focused on ball, basket, team, goal, defense, etc. Right? And people can get their bearings off. So in this play scenario, were the officials correct? Absolutely. Absolutely. And terminate what you've got going on. Get teams pointed in the right direction and just continue the game from there. So a simple play to start, going in the wrong direction, all is well. Let's look. All right. Let's look at our very next play scenario. A1 completes the throw in to A2 to begin the second half. A2 is confused and dribbles toward the basket Team A used during the first half and dunks the ball into the basket of Team B. The officials rule this a legal goal for Team B and award a non-designated spot throw-in to Team A along the end line. Were the officials correct? Yes or no? So we've played the first half. It's the second half throw-in. Team A has the throw-in. Throw it in to a player. Player says, oh, there's a wide open lane to the basket. They go to the wrong basket, dunk the ball. The officials rule a goal for the opponent of the player who dunked the ball and a resulting throw-in for Team A along the end line. Were the officials correct? So isn't this a situation where teams were going in the wrong direction, similar to the first half? Now, this is different in that the game wasn't being played in the wrong direction. Just one player erroneously made that determination, right? That was their basket. If the officials had administered the throw-in with the teams going in that direction, then we would have something different. But when a single player gets confused, etc., in this situation, the correct ruling would be to score a goal for the opponent and a resulting end-line throw-in for the correct team. Now, this is going to be a moment of confusion, right? And we may have to settle things down and, stop play, administer the throw-in, etc. But the correct ruling is score the goal for the opponent, end-line throw-in for the team after the made basket. Right, we could certainly have a backcourt violation scenario on this throw-in, right? So let's say the ball was thrown, a division line throw-in is thrown to the front court. The player makes the determination, and goes into the backcourt, throws the ball into the basket for the other team. We could have a backcourt violation first. It would certainly be a scenario where we may have to do some processing on the play. It's like, what is going on? Are we sure we're going in the correct direction, etc.? Right? We may come with a very late whistle that says, bop, 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 backcourt violation, right? And wipe the basket. Hopefully we're going to have that whistle before the ball enters the basket, which, of course, player elevates to throw the ball into the opponent's basket. We blow the whistle. Has the ball become dead? We always need to know what causes the ball to become dead. In that instance, continuous motion would not apply because it's not a try. They're not attempting at their own basket. This would be a dead ball scenario. So hopefully we have the whistle by then. Continuous motion wouldn't apply. I misspoke there. I saw a fantastic play scenario where on a missed free throw, one of the defenders gets confused, grabs the ball, tries to put the ball back in the basket, misses the first one, tries again, and his teammate from behind shoves him. Like, dude, we're not shooting at that basket. Of causing all sorts of processing to go on. It's like, whoa, what just happened? But if that player who is attempting a dunk, obviously if they are fouled, it is not a shooting foul because they are not attempting the goal at their own basket. Simple, straightforward. A very common test question. People love to pull it out. It's like, well, what if he's fouled while he's trying the dunk, right? Hey, let's go to our next play scenario. With 0.3 of a second left in the first half, A1 is at the free throw line for one free throw. A1's try misses, and A2 legally taps the ball toward the basket and is fouled by B3. The ball had left A2's hand, and the foul occurred before the end of period signal. The tap is unsuccessful. The officials rule that A2 is awarded 2 free throws with the lane cleared, and the period ends after A2's free throw attempts. Were the officials correct? Yes or no? So, 0.3 of a second. Players at the line for their last free throw. The free throw misses. Teammate taps the ball. During the tap, they are fouled. The free throw is unsuccessful. The officials rule a shooting foul. The clock properly started and the horn sounded after the tap was released. The officials rule that the offended player will be awarded 2 free throws with the lane cleared. Would that be the correct adjudication on this play? Something a lot of officials hold on to is we cannot administer free throws in the end of period scenario with the lane cleared. There has to be time put back on the clock. Okay? National Federation of High School, that is simply not the case. If the timer is not able to stop the clock properly, we can have a situation by rule where we attempt the free throws with the lane cleared. So in this instance, we had 0.3 of a second. The player legally tapped the ball, which they are allowed to do with 0.3 of a second or less, and was fouled. The clock started and the horn sounded. The try was unsuccessful. All of these things occurred. The correct adjudication on this play would be that player is awarded free throws. That player, since the clock time expired and the timer was not able to successfully stop the clock, that player will attempt their free throws with the lane cleared. And we will begin the next period with the result of that. And the period would end with the result of those free throws. All right, fantastic. Next play scenario. With 0.3 of a second or less left in a tie game, each team is in the bonus. Team A has an end-line throw-in under their basket. A1 throws the ball to A5 on the near block, who catches the ball and shoots quickly. A1 is fouled by B3 just prior to the horn. The ball goes in. The officials rule that no goal and a 1-and-1 bonus. A5's free throw attempts will determine if the game is over or if an overtime period is necessary. Wow, what a play scenario, a real puzzler. Let's go back, let's review exactly what we have on the play. 0.3 of a second, let's say there's 0.3 of a second. The game is tied. Each team is in the bonus. Team A has an end-line throw-in under their basket. A1 throws the ball to A5 on the near block, who catches the ball and quickly shoots. All right, we know something there when they catch the ball and quickly shoot. A5 is fouled by B3 just prior to the horn, and the ball goes in. Okay, so 3/10 of a second or less. What do we know? We know that a player cannot legally catch and release a try for goal. By rule, 3/10 of a second or less. This player, A5, caught the basketball and was immediately fouled attempting to shoot the basketball on the play. And the ball goes in. The officials say no goal, and we're going to award bonus free throws for a player who was fouled while shooting the basketball. Is that the correct adjudication of this play? Were the officials correct? Yes or no? Boy, this is a tough scenario. Now let's look at our game scenario. The score is tied. This is the end of the game. Our adjudication of this play means everything to this game. If we, make an error in this situation, we have affected the outcome of the game, right? End of game scenarios, we need to be at our best, right? All of our expertise and knowledge, right, in end of game scenarios is where we want it to shine so that we can properly adjudicate plays, because teams have no opportunity, as NBA official Eric Lewis says, if we make a mistake late in the game, teams have no opportunity to correct. They have no opportunity to adjust. They have no opportunity to overcome, right? Time has expired. Time has run out. So we need to be at our best in end-of-game scenarios. So this is a really tough puzzler, and one that we're going to have to look to National Federation of High School case play to find our correct guidance on how to adjudicate this play. So the play scenario is pulled from the case play. 3/10 of a second or less, tied game, each team in the bonus. Team A has a throw in on the end line near the basket. A5 fouled, right? The play scenario is exactly the same. Listen to the language of the ruling. Since A5 may not control the ball and attempt a try with 3/10 of a second or less, A5 cannot score a goal and is not considered to be in the act of shooting. However, B3's foul cannot be ignored and is considered a common foul since the player was not in the act of shooting. A5 is awarded a 1-on-1 bonus free throw situation with the lane cleared, and A5's free throw attempts will determine if the game is over or if an overtime period is necessary. So NFHS clarifies the situation that player, since it's 3/10 of a second or less, cannot legally attempt a try. So when they catch the ball and are fouled, it is not considered to be during the act of shooting, but it is a foul. It is a common foul. The team is in the bonus, so they will be awarded a 1-on-1 bonus in this situation with the lane cleared, and the result of that 1-on-1 bonus will determine whether overtime is played. Now, this is all part of the fourth period, so we will attempt those free throws, even though the score is tied, and the result of the free throw, parentheses, S, free throws. Actually, they cannot shoot 2 free throws here. They are only going to attempt 1 because it's a 1-on-1 bonus. If they make the first, the game is over. If they make the first, we are not attempting the second one. If they miss the first, we will play overtime. So the critical part here is recognizing that our 3/10 rule, a player may not catch and attempt a try with 3/10 of a second or less. We understand that. That's something we could take with us onto the court. But what this play scenario brings about is that player is not in the act of shooting, since the rule states they cannot catch and release a try within that period. So this is an interesting play scenario. Were the officials correct? Yes Yes, they were. 1-and-1 bonus. Result of the first bonus free throw will determine what happens next. Let's look at our next play scenario. A1 is fouled in the act of shooting by B1. A1's try or tap is successful to make the score, with Team A leading 62-58. When the foul occurs, the clock is stopped with zeros showing, but no end of quarter signal, horn or light, has indicated. The officials rule that since the result of the free throws will not affect the game, they will not be attempted, and the game is over. Were the officials correct? Yes or no? Okay, so a last-second shot by a team that's ahead. Their goal goes in. They now have a 4-point lead. The clock shows zeros, but no horn has sounded and no light has gone off. The officials say, well, obviously the game is over. Time has expired, so these free throws will not be attempted, and that the game is over because the result of the free throw. If time has expired and we have that player is due merited free throws, we are not to attempt those free throws because they will not affect the outcome of the game. But has time expired in this instance? So we need to know what does that mean? Time has expired. Time has expired when the clock gets to zero and the horn sounds or the light on the backboard is illuminated. That's when time has expired. You can have a situation in some gymnasiums where the final second, let's say there's 0.7 of a second left in the period, there's no tenths up on the clock. That's not an unusual scenario. It's less prevalent now, but that could certainly be the case. There's 0.7 of a second. The clock on the wall shows zeros. Okay? Oftentimes, if you recognize this in your pregame and that there are no tenths of a second on a clock, you can ask the table, hey, when it gets to zero, does that mean time has expired, that the clock is at zero, or we're in the final second, 0.9 of a second or less? So that's a scenario that can occur. I know we have one gym here locally, high school gym, where that's the case. And when that's the case, you can go to the table and see on the readout what the actual time is remaining. So it may say 0.7, 0.5, 0.3, and we would need to know that if we were in a scenario where we might have a possible last second tip. So in this play scenario, right, if we're not affecting the outcome of the game if we get this wrong, but we would actually award the merited free throws since there is time remaining by rule since the horn has not sounded. So we would attempt the free throws with players in marked lane spaces, and the game would end appropriately and the play after that. All right, so we've had some unique play scenarios, ones that we want to get right. Some are low stress, easy fix, minor embarrassment, but others are game-deciding decisions. Game-deciding decisions, we need to know the rules. It's critical. That's where we want all of our experience, knowledge, and our ability to work as a crew to get such situations right to come to bear on the game. Thanks for sticking around today to the end of the show. Much appreciated and much love. Now would be a great time to do all the things like subscribe, notify, and share the content with other basketball officials so that we can all get better together. Have to give a shout out today to our fantastic show supporters without whom the show would not be possible. Jim Caine, Les O'Connor Jr., Dan Kelly, Jack Davis, and Scott Calvin. Much appreciated and much love. You want to support the show, you can always buy us a coffee at abetterofficial.com/coffee. There will be a link above and in the show notes below. All right, fantastic. We have additional video content for you here. Make your choice. Choose wisely. We'll see you in the very next episode. Take care, everybody.